In the United States, the recommended duration for keeping invoices and financial records can vary depending on the type of document and the purpose. However, here are some general guidelines. Tax records. The Internal Revenue Service recommends retaining tax-related documents for at least 3 years after you've filed your tax return. This includes supporting documents like invoices, receipts, and bank statements. However, if you've underreported your income by more than 25%, the IRS can go back 6 years to audit your returns. It's often a good practice to keep tax records for at least 7 years to be safe. Financial statements. Many financial experts recommend keeping financial statements, such as income statements and balance sheets, for a minimum of 7 years. These documents provide a historical perspective on your business's financial health. Invoices. Invoices should generally be retained for the same duration as your tax records, which is at least 3 years. However, if an invoice relates to a long-term contract or a transaction with ongoing obligations, you may need to keep it for a longer period. Employee records. Employee payroll and tax records should be kept for at least 4 years after the employment tax becomes due or is paid, whichever is later. Business contracts. Contracts related to your business should typically be kept for at least 7 years, as they may have implications for tax and legal matters. Bank statements. While many people keep bank statements for a year, it's a good idea to keep them for at least 7 years in case they are needed for tax audits or other financial verification. Receipts. Retain receipts for deductible business expenses for at least 3 years after the date of the tax return that includes the deduction. Insurance policies. Keep insurance policies for the duration of the policy term and for several years after the policy expires or is canceled. Property and asset records. Records related to property and significant assets, such as real estate and major equipment, should be retained for as long as you own the property and for several years after it's sold or disposed of. Legal documents. Legal documents, including contracts, licenses, and permits, should generally be kept for as long as they remain in effect and then for several years after their termination. Remember that these are general guidelines, and specific circumstances may warrant longer retention periods. Additionally, it's advisable to consult with a tax professional or legal counsel to ensure compliance with federal, state, and local regulations that may impact your record-keeping requirements.